And welcome back to the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series every Monday night, brought to you by FEGPC.net. We've got an exciting race for you tonight. Let me correct myself, a couple of races as it's a double-header race this evening, off last week for the holiday, so it's going to be a good one. Starting off here at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. And as always, I'm your host, James Eastspring, the Action 1080p, 60 frames a second, as right now drivers are getting gridded up for this main event. And let's go ahead and take a look through your running order. Starting on pole, Jeff Radke, the number 51 machine. Stephen Page starting second. Chad Ross starts third. James Kaufman starting fourth. Wally Babb starting fifth. Corey Stahl starting sixth. William Price starts seventh. John Mullihan starting eighth. Ryan Strunk starting ninth. Rylan Fascinato starting 10th. Chris Luttrell starts 11th. Eric Parks starting 12th. Cycling it back, we've got Jeremy Osborne starting 13th. Jordan Darnell starts 14th. Eric Fulton, the friendly Canadian, starting 15th. Noel McKinney starts 16th. Mark McFadden starting 17th. And Kenneth McCullough Jr. will round out our 18-driver grid here today. Welcome, one and all. Good to have you back at the Monday Night FEG PC Series. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on, as both myself and the drivers definitely appreciate it from the fans, as this thing wouldn't happen without you guys. As looks like the full field following along behind our iRacing safety car. It's going to be Radke and Page on that front row. Ross, Kaufman, your second row. Babb and Stahl will make up the third row. Fairly healthy grid. 18 drivers making their way out. $135 laps on the schedule for this opening race of the night. Pace car should be coming in. Yes, there it goes down pit road. And we wait for Barney, our flagman, to throw the green flag. And we are green flag racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Radke and Page up front, already seeing some action as Radke goes up to the high line. We got Chad Ross, the number 38 machine. He's also looks to be on the inside line, trying to make something happen. So it looks like we had a little bit three-wide action early on there. And back that camera angle out, it's Radke Page running single file up front. Chad Ross running third in tow. Wally Babb, James Kaufman going side by side in the battle for fourth. As the field tries to get situated and grinding around next to the number 6 of Mullihan. He's in the fray side by side with Ryan Strunk in the 77. Oh, looked like Mullihan tipped a little bit of the apron there. He's going to lose some speed behind Corey Stahl's 66 machine. Mullihan and Strunk battling for 8th. Strunk on the outside line. Mullihan going down low right behind them. Rylan Fascinato, the number 69. Toyota trying to make some early moves here. A little bit further back, that's Jordan Darnell, the number 15 machine, tucked in behind Chris Luttrell's 00. You can also see Dalton McKinney's 46 machine. He's up 2 spots as he sits in 14. Going back, the battle between Strunk and Mullihan continues for 8th. Side by side they go. They're about 3-4 tenths back from Corey Stahl, who sits in 7th. Looks to me like the top 7 drivers, for the most part, running single file as I say that. Looks like James Kaufman making a move on Wally Babb, and he just set the fastest lap so far this race, a 30.4. Looks like the field's starting to get in a little bit of groove here. James Kaufman also clicks off at 30.4. As things looking like they're relatively single file up front, panning back to Jeff Radke, leading the opening 5 laps. Stephen Page, Chad Ross stay tucked in behind them. 1, 2, 3. Kaufman and Price rounding out the top 5. Now, I think there's going to be some action here in the near future. Looks like Babb all over the back of the Price's 34 machine, trying to get a little bit further up towards the front. You've also got Corey Stahl in the 66. He's looking like he wants to go as Ryan Strunk almost gets into the back of the 66. Stahl with a big lunge up the inside line, trying to get around Babb. Looks like he's going to do it down the backstretch here at Charlotte. The number 77 machine of Ryan Strunk tucks in right behind as well. See if he can make it a 2-for-1. Edging Babb back into the 8th place position. Up front, things getting a little bit safer as they try and just kind of settle into a groove, but right here, looks like Babb throwing a bit of a block on Mullihan down on the inside line. Mullihan in the bright green number 6 machine tucked in behind that black and yellow 99 of Babb. It's Ford versus Chevy in the battle for 8th. Mullihan once again tipping a couple wheels on the apron, unsettling the truck ever so slightly. He's got to be careful. As Eric Parks, Ron Fascinato, Chris Luttrell, Jordan Darnell right there in tow as well, trying to pick up a few spots. There's Jordan Darnell's number 15 machine. He's right behind Chris Luttrell. Both drivers running 12th and 13th here. Looks like Mullihan and Babb once again side by side. Mullihan edging down the inside line. Babb's going to yield the spot, tucking in right behind that number 6. As you can see, Jeffrey Radke's 51 machine still leading it here at Charlotte. Stephen Page not giving him any chance to break away, holding about a 2/10 gap between the two. Chad Ross also sitting in 3rd right there with him. Now when Radke and Page not quite going single file, but hopping out of formation, that's going to allow a little bit more time for Ross to close the gap, using that draft to his momentum. And still more battling just inside the top 10. Eric Parks, Wally Babb battling for 9th. Here comes Rylan Fascinato to work his way back up inside 10th alongside the Georgia native piloting that number 99 Ford F-150. Behind them, that is Luttrell, Colton, and Darnell. 18 drivers on the lead lap. All 18 drivers still rocking and rolling from where we started. Checking in on Derek Fulton's number 7 Toyota Tundra. He's got Chris Luttrell in his sights in the 00, and they've also caught up to Babb as well in the 99. Wonder if Babb's maybe fallen off the pace here slightly, if he has some sort of tire issues or what the problem is. But Babb definitely slowing the pace, but now he's got Fulton and Luttrell side by side behind him. You can see Jordan Darnell, Jr. in the background as well, trying to close on up as here comes Fulton looking at the inside line of Babb. And up ahead, more side-by-side action. The 66 of Stahl and the 77 of Strunk. Battling for that 6th place spot. They've got William Price in the Red Bull back 34 just ahead. Already, drivers are feeling the effects of tire wear. They're about a second off their fastest laps of the race. Not quite sure what the fuel window is going to be here, if we can get to it without any cautions coming into play. Radke, Page, Ross, still your top 3. It's still a very heated battle for 15th as Dalton McKinney takes over the spot from Jordan Darnell. Darnell's going to lose 2 spots total from where he qualified, dropping to 16th. back in with third place Stephen Page. Linked up right behind Radke and Ross. He's got about a second advantage. If we go back to James Kaufman, Kaufman has his hands full with Price, Stahl, and Strunk all in the pack here. Go. Things getting dicey for fourth. Price, Kaufman, Stahl, and Strunk. 2 wide and 2 rows deep. It's allowing the top 3 drivers to extend their gap even a little bit further. Now 1.3 seconds ahead of this 4-truck battle. Again, this is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. All duking out for contention. It looks like Kaufman going to tuck back in behind Price as Stahl and Strunk not quite getting it sorted out. Now, not losing too much time to the top 3 here, still about 1.3 seconds off the back of Stephen Page. Looks like Page has backed out of it slightly as Radke and Ross still linked up 1 and 2. Checking back in on race leader Jeff Radke. Dale has Ross right behind him. You can see the gap they built up over Page in the number 1 machine. Right now it's Toyota on top with Jeff Radke. Chad Ross in second is our fastest Chevrolet out on track. And we have to go back to 13th place to Wally Babb and the number 99 F-150 to find our fastest Ford out here at Charlotte, at least currently. Also have a bit of a battle going on between 16th and 17th place drivers, Jordan Darnell, Mark McFadden. Darnell has dropped 2 spots so far this evening. McFadden has neither gained nor lost any positions, just taking it easy, but he's looking to the inside line of Darnell. Looks like Darnell might have a little bit of damage on the right side of his Ford. Get a right side shot of that number 15 machine. As McFadden's gonna take a big lunge at the inside line, and yes, that number 15 definitely has damage on the side. That could be hurting his long run pace here as McFadden's gonna take the 16th place spot, his first pass of the evening, and try and get some momentum built up as he's now 2.2 seconds back from Dalton McKinney. Back up front, it's still the Radke Ross show. We're 1.2 seconds ahead of Stephen Page. And it looks like Ross is going to make a move into turn 1 to take over the race lead. Now, Ross and Radke are not teammates. So there's not going to be any team orders or camaraderie here as they go back battling for the lead. It's going to be Ross on the high side, Radke down low. Ross gets credit for the lap by 0.04 of a second to his name. And still side by side for the race lead is Ross and Radke. Ross holds about a 0.07 of a second advantage. Radke staying up that inside corner panel, but look at that. Stephen Page has gained about 3 or 4 tenths here as the leaders battled out side by side, closing the gap rather quickly to 0.8 of a second. And they've all got to be careful because you can see William Price, Strunk, Kaufman, Stahl, Bolton, Parks, really everybody inside the top 10 starting to close that gap rather quickly. But Ross wants the credit for the laps led. Every point matters. And he pulls about 1/4 of a second over Radke. Page trying to close the gap. Go a little bit further back to William Price. He's now tucked in behind Ryan Strunk. Strunk is up 5 spots. Our 2 hard chargers of the evening, though, Derek Fulton and Kenneth McCullough Jr. both have gained 7 spots so far this evening. And we hear, yes, a heated battle for 14th going on. Chris Luttrell, Dalton McKinney still side by side, swapping back and forth. McKinney down the inside line in the purple and yellow 46. Luttrell in the bright red and yellow 00 machine, now sitting 15th. He's down 4 spots from where he started. We've got Abby here joining us. She's cheering on Corey Stahl in the 66. Stahl currently 7th out on track, down 1 spot from where he started. The battle for 4th still going on. Strunk up the inside line against Price. They're about 1.6 seconds back from Page. And the more these two go side by side, it's twofold. It's allowing James Kaufman back in 6th the chance to close the gap. It's allowing Stephen Page in 3rd to stretch his legs, get even more distance from the battles behind them. And that's kind of the game plan for a lot of the guys at this point. Put their head down, focus on their marks, start clicking off laps. And try to be the first drivers down pit road when that fuel window officially opens. Not quite sure what the fuel window is going to be here. These limited gas tanks, but I suppose we'll know when everybody starts diving down pit road together. Price taking back over the 4th place spot from Strunk, pulling about a 10.5 second advantage. There's Derek Fulton, Corey Stahl, Ken McCullough Jr. coming down pit road by himself. Now, we've seen McCullough do some pretty wild pit strategies before, so he may know something the rest of the field doesn't, or willing to try something out here. Strunk has caught back up to Price. Behind Derek Fulton is James Kaufman, Corey Stahl. Eric Parks also coming down pit road, and we pan back to 11th. Look at this battle. It's Wally Babb, Don Mullahan, Dalton McKinney. Emptying at 3 wide as we watch McCullough roll out of pit road. Looks like he just took 2 tires on that pit stop. Jeremy Osborne also coming down pit road. Mullahan and Babb side by side. Dalton McKinney's 46 machine looking for some sort of opening. And now Chris Luttrell closing that gap as well. Mullahan tucking in behind Babb's 99 machine. But Dalton McKinney has officially joined this party outside, just barely outside the top 10, as well as Luttrell. Rapidly closing up. Oh, it looks like McKinney gets a little bit loose there. Mullahan drops back down low. Trying to edge out Wally Babb, but McKinney returns the favor up the inside line. Jeremy Osborne and Eric Parks back out on track after their green flag stops. Jeff Radke comes down pit road, as well as Stephen Page, Ryan Strunk, James Kaufman. A fairly busy pit road there. As about 9 drivers staying out, 10 drivers. Pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen. Looks like 11 drivers going to stay out. We're officially underway for our green flag pit stops. Chad Ross extends his gap up in first. It looks like William Price. No, it looks like, there we go. Ross comes down pit road as well as Price. Bolton stays out. Stahl and Fascinato also down pit road. Derek Fulton, the friendly Canadian in the 07 Toyota Tundra, going to stay out a little while longer. As it looks like Luttrell, McFadden, Darnell all down pit road, so Fulton will be the last driver to complete his green flag pit stop. There goes Fulton. Little bit hot there on pit road, trying to get it slowed down. That should put Chad Ross back as your race leader. About 2.5 seconds ahead of William Price. But keep an eye out, Stephen Page, Jeff Radke, Eric Parks going to be closing the gap rather quickly. Barreling down the backstretch. We're about to go 3 wide for the race lead, although briefly. But now it's going to be Radke and Page batting for the top spot. Ross is going to get slotted back in at 5th as Derek Fulton leaves his pit stall, getting back out on track. There's Fulton down on the apron, the number 7 machine getting dangerously close to that white line. As Radke quickly builds up a 1-second advantage over Page. And right behind Page, a lot of heavy hitters there. There's Parks, Ross, McCullough. Strunk all in the fray. McCullough takes a peek to the inside line of Ross. McCullough, definitely our current hard charger with that undercut. He came down pit road on lap 27. And he's been able to gain himself a tidy 14 positions. Mostly a shootout from 2nd to about 6th place as Radke still holds a 2.2 second advantage over Stephen Page's number 1 machine. Checking back in on Radke, I want to get confirmation. Yes, we have 17 drivers on the lead lap. Jeremy Osborne's number 12 machine, the first driver to go down a lap. We have another battle. There's Corey Stahl, Rylan Fascinato. Stahl moving back up inside the top 10 in the number 66 machine. Nice run, takes over the top 5 from Chad Ross. Now it looks to me very few drivers took 4 tires on that stop. Jeff Radke, your race leader. We believe he took 4. Corey Stahl, we think took 4 freshmen. Dalton McKinney, Chris Luttrell, Jordan Darnell, and possibly Wally Babb, but Babb had problems on pit road. He was stalled for 35 seconds, so a majority of the drivers only took 2 on that last stop. Speaking of 2 drivers, there's McCullough and Parks still battling for 3rd. McCullough's going to make it 15 spots gained so far, but losing a little bit of time there to Page, who has an 8-10 advantage. Here comes the number 77 of Brian Strunk, also trying to work that inside line, see if he can get around Eric Parks. Well done as well to Jeremy Osborne, popping down as close as possible to allow the lead lap drivers by. As things are very heated from 3rd place back. We're watching Strunk and Parks battle for 4th. Derek Fulton also with Ray Ross is falling back ever so slightly. It looks like Parks also falling slightly off the pace. He dropped down to 6th. As up front, Jeffrey Radke on a mission here. great racing all the way around. This is definitely the closest pack we have out on track. 4 drivers separated by less than a second, with Ken McCullough Jr. leading that charge in third. But while these guys have been duking it out, that's allowed Jeff Radke and Stephen Page to really fill their gap. As now, here comes Derek Fulton on the inside line, the number 7 Toyota. Taking back over that podium position, McCullough gets shuffled back to 4th. Ryan Strunk still rounding out the top 5. McCullough and Strunk linked up, nose to tail, and second. Right behind them, you can see Chad Ross and Eric Parks. Ross will take over the 6th place spot. Parks dropping back to 7th. And we check in on race leader Jeff Radke. He's out there in no man's land, 5.4 seconds ahead of Stephen Page. 6.8 seconds ahead of Derek Fulton. Ryan Strunk moves up into 4th. McCullough starting to fall back ever so slightly, but could be a strategy call. We've seen McCullough do some wily things in the past, able to save just a little bit more fuel, go a little bit longer than other drivers in other historic events here on the Monday night FEG PC.net series. Still about 22 laps left to go before we hit the halfway mark of tonight. We'll have 16 drivers on the lap, all 18 drivers that entered still out here competing. As Ross takes back over the 5th place spot from McCullough as they cross the start-finish line. Right behind them, that's William Price taking over a position from Eric Parks. And there is Corey Stahl watching to see if he can get a little bit closer and try and make something happen. Stahl trying to work the outside line. It looks like he's going to make it happen there against Eric Parks. Looks to me, and yes, it is so. Derek Fulton closing the gap to Stephen Page. Now just 2/10 separating the two. Closer as they cross the start finish. Fulton takes a peek at the inside line through 1 and 2, and it looks like the friendly Canadian gonna move up into second, edging out Stephen Page. But this is the battle for second. Jeff Radke, 6.3 seconds ahead. A little bit further back, looks like Rylan Fascinato taking a spot away from James Kaufman's 41 machine. Number 69 Toyota is going to move just inside the top 10. Very, very close there. And checking back in on Corey Stahl. He's worked his way once again up to 7th. Now 4/10 in closing behind William Price, 3/10 in climbing over McCullough, who sits in 8th. And McCullough was the first driver down here on lap 27. If McCullough stays true to form here as far as pit strategy goes, that means he's going to be coming in around the next 3 or 4 laps. Derek Fulton second, gaining about a 10. Wait for the lap time to update here. Fulton gained about a 1/4 of a second, 2/10 over Radke per lap. Stahl and Price continue going at it. Last time by your race leader, a 32.23. Derek Fulton in second, a 32.03. Stahl now working his way up into 6th, just ahead of William Price. It looks like McCullough closing the gap as well in 8th. Hard Charger out on track is going to be Derek Fulton, the 07. He's up 13 spots from where he qualified. Stahl stretching his legs there in 6th. Checking back in on race leader Jeff Radke. His fuel window should be opening up in about 5 to 6 laps here. Again, if he stays true to form, a lot of different fuel and tire strategies that we're going to see through both events tonight. Again, this is just the opening race of the evening. Starting it off at Charlotte with 135 laps. Then we're going straight to Las Vegas after about a 10-minute intermission. And 55 laps in, still side-by-side action everywhere you look. This is Eric Parks. Rylan Fascinato battling out for 9th. Shimmy there from Fascinato. Parks is staying right there with him. You can also see James Kaufman, Dalton McKinney running 11th and 12th, closing the gap ever so slightly. Going to be interesting to see if drivers stay on the same tire strategy. Your race leader, Jeff Radke, one of the handful of drivers who took 4 fresh Goodyears underneath them on that green flag stop on lap 31. But Derek Fulton, who came down pit road on lap 33, we believe he's on a 2-tire strategy and has been steadily gaining time over the race leader. And speaking of pit stops, Chad Ross will be the first driver in for this cycle in that 38. He'll be joined by Eric Parks, also coming down pit road. There's Dalton McKinney's 46 machine right behind Kaufman's 41. Ross and Parks rolling out of pit road. Eric Fulton in second, still 5.6 seconds off the back of Jeff Radke. Doing a little bit of traffic management there. I think that was Jordan Darnell's number 15 machine. Again, we think Darnell has a little bit of damage on the right side of his truck. And, traffic's getting a little bit exciting back there. Mark McFadden picks up a spot from Jordan Darnell. Looks like Darnell was hopping out of the way. I think that may have been Page Strunk ahead of them, who's trying to catch up to Derek Fulton. But things were getting a little bit dicey there. Page and Strunk are going to come down pit road in tandem. The next driver's down pit road. Your race leader, Jeff Radke, opts to stay out, and he's right behind Wally Babb's 99 machine. In danger of going a lap down. Looks like McCullough and Kaufman also down pit road. Top 9 drivers still staying out. Just about everybody in the top 9 came down pit road around lap 32, anywhere between lap 31 and 33. Now I'm very curious to see, is Radke, who's coming down pit road, is he going to take 4 tires once more? Or is this going to be a two-tire stop for the number 51? Derek Fulton stays out, the number 7. Corey Stahl also down pit road. Looks like Price and Fascinato are going to stay out, taking over the second and third place position on pit strategy. Get the live timing tower pulled up at the left side of your screen to see where those favorite drivers are. We've got Chris, he's cheering on Jeremy Osborne in the number 12 machine. Osborne, I believe, a couple laps down here and had a very lengthy stay on pit road, about 25 seconds, so I think he was getting some damage repaired there on the number 12 machine. But the good thing is about NASCAR Oval Racing, you are just one caution away from getting back in it. So far, coming up on the halfway mark, we have been caution-free so far this evening. Hopefully the commentator's curse doesn't strike there. Wally Babb comes down pit road, as well as Darnell William Price also going to come down pit road. Fulton, Fascinato, McKinney, and Mullahan. The few remaining drivers on the lead lap here who have yet to come down. Now I think Radke in the 51, I think he took 4 tires again there. Chad Ross also showing as a 4-tire stop. Here comes Fulton down pit road. Will Fascinato follow his Canadian brother? Yes, he will. As well as Dalton McKinney. That's going to put John Mullahan. Looks like he's getting set up for a stop. Yes, he is. Well, I believe that's going to put Jeff Radke back as your race leader. But this time around, Chad Ross much closer than the 6-second advantage Radke had previously built up. Radke and Ross showing 5th and 6th as they get ready to pass a whole handful of drivers on pit road. Will now take over the 1st and 2nd place positions officially. About a 2-second breakaway from Stephen Page, who sits in 3rd. Now, Radke came in lap 62, Ross on lap 56, so 2 different strategies. Both drivers, we believe, are on a 4-tire stop. That's going to put 14 drivers on the lead lap. Now, I believe, unfortunately, Jordan Darnell looks like he may have put it in the virtual hauler here. Not sure if he had some sort of incident. We didn't see any crash reports. That number 12. No, excuse me, Jeremy Osborne is out on track. I was talking about Jordan Darnell's number 15 machine. He have retired here, but again, didn't see any incidents. We believe he had a little bit of damage to the right side of his truck, but he was out there racing. Heading back to the top 5 and just outside of it, there's Derek Fulton, Ken McCullough Jr., and Eric Parks. The only driver inside the top 5 not on a 4-tire stop is Ryan Strunk's 77 machine. Strunk kind of in no man's land here. He's 2.7 seconds back from Page, who sits in 3rd, and about 2.1 seconds ahead of Derek Fulton back in 5th. So a good position to be in as he just focuses on tire management. No racing going on though as William Price, Dalton McKinney battling out for 10th. McKinney's looking to the inside line. Making the move as McKinney slots up into 10th. That's going to be his 6th spot gain for the evening. Price falls back to 11th, losing 4 spots over the duration of the event. Page closing the gap to Chad Ross. Ross far off the pace here. He was 6/10 slower than race leader Jeff Radke that time by. Not sure if that's tire management coming into play or maybe some fuel saving strategy. But it looks like Page gonna make the pass happen here. And number 1 machine crawling back up into 2nd, edging Ross down into 3rd. Here comes John Mullihan's number 6 machine trying to unlap himself. The field is once again stretching out ever so slightly. Blistering fast here. I'm not quite sure how he ended up a lap down. But absolutely ripping it. Page going to follow along behind that number 6 machine. Maybe use the draft a little bit to try and close the gap to Jeff Radke, your race leader. Checking back in on Radke. He's got a 4.2 second advantage over Stephen Page, who sits in 2nd. And it looks like he's catching up to Chris Luttrell's 00. The red and white just ahead. Luttrell running 13th out on track. Not to detract from what Luttrell's doing, that just shows how fast Radke has been here tonight. Jens McCall Jr. making a move on Ryan Strunk for 5th. Strunk's going to try and fire back on the high side. No luck though. Derek Fulton's taking it back over the mantle, holding on to 3rd place. Away from Ross in the 38 Special Chevrolet. About 60 laps left to go in this main event. We're seeing about 30 to 35 laps of fuel at most from these drivers. Now I'm expecting at least 2 more stops from every driver if the fuel numbers stay true. Nice 3-truck battle for the top 10. That's Dalton McKinney, William Price, Rylan Fascinato. Fascinato looking at the inside line of Price, not able to make it happen down the backstretch. Are we going to see him move into 3? No, he's going to stay tucked in behind the 34, but has to tap the brakes ever so slightly to avoid getting into the Red Bull back 34 Chevrolet. Dalton McKinney, the 46, still up 6 positions, holding on to 10th, trying to close that 3/4 of a second gap to James Kaufman. Eric Parks, Corey Stahl still going at it. Stahl gonna move up into 7th. moving Parks back now down into 8th. And now it's going to be a 4-truck battle for 9th. As McKinney in 10th, who's leading Price and Fascinato up and forward, catching up to James Kaufman's 41 machine. Kaufman sitting at 9, down 5 spots from where he qualified. They'll have 17 drivers of the 18 who entered out on track. Here we go, McKinney and Kaufman side by side. Kaufman goes high. Price tucks in behind the purple and yellow 46 machine. Fascinato looks to the outside line as well, picking up the draft from Kaufman. But nowhere to go as they get ready to cross the start-finish line. Headed to turn 1 and 2 here, Charlotte. 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Jeff Radke, your race leader, coming down pit road on lap 80 for a green flag stop. Derek Fulton's going to stay out, taking over the race lead, getting credit for the lap led. Kenny working his way up to 9th, may make it another spot as Radke's still on pit road. Price and Kaufman, door to door. Fascinato looking for a nice, safe place through here. Not finding it, but here comes Fascinato. Almost leaning on Kaufman there. Now, interesting, Radke, I believe, only took fuel on that stop. In and out of his pit stall in 7.6 seconds. A very interesting strategy play. Chad Ross, Corey Stahl down pit road. They should have one more stop after that to make it till the end and go the distance, no pun intended. As we continue watching McKinney, Price, and Fascinato working their way through traffic. That was the number 12, I believe, of Jeremy Osborne, still sitting 17th spot. And McCall Jr. coming out pit road in the 03 machine. Eric Parks also in pit road. There looks like that's going to be Corey Stahl making his way out. Well as Chad Ross, and look at this, Price and McKinney still door to door as Fascinato watches on. With the pit stops underway, this is now the battle for 4th. Eric Parks rolls out on track after taking 4 fresh tires underneath him. Chad Ross also took 4. But still side by side we go for 4th. It's Price, McKinney, and Fascinato. 4th, 5th, 6th, separated by less than a 1/10 of a second here. And now they've got Chad Ross right behind, coming out of pit road with fresh tires. Could be an exciting situation. Here comes Ross, getting ready to blitz through the field as we take it 3 wide, and there's contact. Oh, how did they hold on to it? That was Price and McKinney with a large amount of contact. Fascinato looks like he got through that one clear. Chad Ross snaked his way through. Fascinato gonna take a while to unpry his fingers from the wheels. That was a big, big moment between the number 46 and McKinney and the 34 of Price. You can see the racing stripes at the side of that 34. Front comes down pit road. McKinney has fallen off the pace, now back into sixth. Getting dangerously close to our first caution of the night, and we check back in on race leader Derek Fulton. Still waiting to come down pit road. Looks like the top six have not come down since anywhere between laps 60 to 65 for these drivers. Stephen Page in second, also down pit road. While this pit cycle is going to continue, that's 7 drivers still on the lead lap. Hoffman also down pit road. Still waiting for our top 4 drivers to enter their second to last pit stop of the evening. Jeff Redke back in 5th, but just fuel underneath them. Bolt's gonna have a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him. That's either on older tires. He's also got fast drivers behind him with fresh rubber underneath. It's number 5 machine of Mark McFadden making way for the race leader. I'm very curious to see what Jeff Radke's plan is here, just taking fuel on this stop. He ran 32.15 his last time by, about a 10th of a second slower than Derek Fulton, the race leader, who's closing the gap to that 51. William Price down pit road. And Derek Fulton has the number 41 machine of James Kaufman getting a lap back, or at least attempting to, as they go side by side into turn 1. You can see Mullihan in the background as well. That's going to put 4 drivers on the lead lap with our current strategy. Mullihan blitzing through with his fresh tires underneath them. Ooh, 3 wide is not a situation Fulton wants to be in. With lap traffic, he wisely backs out of it there. Fulton, Fascinato, and McKinney. The top 3 drivers all came down pit road last time on lap 65. The window's going to officially close for them in about 2 or 3 laps here in Charlotte. How long is Fulton going to stretch the run out for? Coming up on 30 laps for the 07. He's up 14 spots, our hard charger. But a lot of traffic. Now Ron Fascinato going to come down the road for his second to last green flag stop. Dalton McKinney stays out a little while longer. Fulton still on the gas, charging forward. Been green for 95 laps. We've had 2 pit cycles so far. Drivers starting, most drivers completing their 3rd pit stop. We're expecting this to be a 4-stop race. Fuel windows about 30 to 35 laps. But now it's just Fulton and McKinney, the lone drivers up front. We have yet to come down pit road. Jeff Radke still in 3rd, but just barely ahead of Fulton out on track. He's on a very interesting call, just taking fuel on that last pit stop. Hill, Fulton, McKinney stretching the run out. Chris Luttrell, the 00, he's on pit road. How long can these guys go for? You can just see Radke in the foreground. He's in third, trying to stay on the lead lap here against Derek Fulton's. Easy to spot, number 7 Toyota Tundra. A little bit further back, not too far behind your race leader. That's Stephen Page, Chad Ross. Page working his way back up into fourth. Dalton McKinney's coming down pit road. Looks like Derek Fulton's setting up as well, coming in way hot. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if Radke's still going to be able to take over the race lead here, as he is on a fuel-only stop at his number 51 Toyota. And he's got Stephen Page behind him, 2.25 of a second. Closing the gap over a second faster per lap as Page is on 4 fresh tires. Now as Radke crosses the line, we got about 36 laps left in this main event. At this point, if any drivers come down pit road by around lap 102 or 103, they should in theory be good to go till the end here, as far as fuel goes. Derek Fulton's going to get back out on track in 6th place. He's got 4 fresh tires underneath him. I don't think Fulton can try and pull off something on fuel strategy. Now we're watching Stephen Page close the gap to Radke. It's going to be the battle for the lead, and I think it's going to be a quick one, as Page has much fresher tires underneath him. He came in 8 laps later than Radke. And again, Radke did not take tires on that stop. Here's Page, number 1 machine, going to try and make quick work of Radke for the race lead. Page looks to the inside line as they cross the start-finish. Interesting. I think Page backed out of it there. Page not in a big hurry to burn up any tires. Casually makes his way around up on the high side against Radke. Last time by, Page did a 31.95. Let's see what it is here as he crosses the line in front of Barney, our flag man. A 31.78, so gaining 2/10 over his previous lap. He's still 1.2 seconds off his fastest lap of the race. As I say that, Derek Fulton has clicked off his personal best, a 30.49. Cycling a little bit further back, we've got a battle for 10th developing. That's John Mullahan in 10th, William Price in 11th, as well as James Kaufman closing the gap. There's McFadden hopping out of the way of the number 6 machine. McFadden 16th out on track, the number 5 Ford, up 1 spot from where he qualified. A little bit further, things are getting exciting as Derek Fulton is slicing through the field, making quick work of both Chad Ross and Kenneth McCullough Jr. The question is, can Fulton somehow make this on fuel? If he can, he could pull out a bit of a miracle here. We've got to pan back to that battle for 10th as Mullahan and Price still going at it side by side. Kaufman right behind in the 41, 30 laps left to go. The opening of the race of the night here at Charlotte, the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. Jeff Radke coming down pit road. It's going to be his final stop of the evening. I don't believe he's going to be taking another fuel-only stop on this one. Corey Stahl also pit road, his final stop. Derek Fulton has worked his way all the way up into second. And starting to close the gap to Page. He's about a second faster last time by. He's got 10-lap fresher tires underneath him. You can see Dalton McKinney's 46 machine. He's a lap down. And we pan back to Page. He may be able to spot Fulton in the rearview mirror. There's Fulton, there's Page, just on the corner of your screen. The question really comes down to, does Fulton have enough fuel to make it till the end? Is he banking on a late race caution? What is the plan? And he's gonna get it. As the caution comes out, Corey Stahl will be in it. Is he a single car incident? Single truck incident. Watch Stahl in the 66, see what happened. Oh no. Stahl loops it leaving pit road. That is enough to trigger the crash report and bring out the caution. And you can tell how frustrated he was with that mistake. Watch that one once more on board with Corey Stahl's 66 machine. Leaving pit road. Too much fuel. Once he tagged the grass, that was it. You can listen to this. Trying his best to quickly get turned around, but a rough moment for Stahl. That is going to reset the field and make it a shootout with about 23 laps left to go. Everybody's going to come down pit road. If they've got 4 tires left, I would imagine everybody's going to take them here. As we went from long run prowess for a lot of the drivers, now it's going to be a short run shootout. Fascinato opting to stay out in the 69 machine. I'm not sure why, but I love the spirit of it. Fascinato going to come down pit road here? Or is he banking on another caution, I wonder? Going to have 16 lap older tires than anybody behind him. It could be Fascinato's just out of tires at this point. Here we go, Fascinato opts to come down pit road. Dalton McKinney is going to join him. That's going to put Stephen Page, Derek Fulton on the front row. McCullough and Ross your second row. Strunk and Parks your third row. I have a feeling this is going to be an action-packed shootout at the end of this race. That is our first caution, but there was about 26 laps left to go. Grid up behind our iRacing safety car. I think it's going to be 23 laps left to go on this restart. Everybody getting into double file formation. That's going to put us with 14 drivers on the lead lap. I believe Dalton McKinney was the lucky dog in that one. Race car should be in this time by. And here we go once more, our first restart of the evening. Page setting the pace up front. Looks like everybody inside the top 6 all has 4 fresh tires underneath them. Still 2 wide and 2 rows deep. It's McCullough and Fulton side by side for second. Ross and Strunk side by side for the battle for fourth. Right behind them is Eric Parks, as well as William Price, John Mullahan, James Kaufman, all trying to make big moves on this restart. Knowing that this thing could still finish under green flag racing with that one caution punctuating the party. You know, a lot of these drivers battling side by side. Now we know Price had a little bit of damage on that 34 machine with that contact with McKinney. Will it affect him over the long run or the remaining run? 22 laps left to go here at Charlotte. Price goes high, Strunk goes low. Top 5 drivers all single file, and they've looks like Price and Strunk side by side, maybe losing that top 5 pack ever so slightly. Eric Parks, yes, Ryan Strunk also has a little bit of damage to the side of the 77, a bit of racing stripes there. Kenneth McCullough Jr. in second, just set the fastest lap of the race, a 30.38. As now we watch Kaufman and Strunk side by side. Strunk falling back slightly. Kaufman taking over the 7th place spot. My oh my, McCullough just keeps getting faster up front. That time another fastest lap at 30.36. Keep an eye on Fulton in third. He clicked off at 30.37, so the pace is there. The top 3 nose to tail. Chad Ross still within striking distance. We've gained about a half second over Eric Parks, who rounds out the top 5. Now, are these 3 going to try and work together, spread the gap to the rest of the field, or are we going to see some side-by-side action early on here? Generally, it's the last 4 or 5 laps where you see guys taking some jabs and a few feints at the driver in front of them. Right now, though, they may be thinking we'd rather have 3 drivers battling out the end instead of the top 10 all in the mix. Charlotte not necessarily known for its 3-wide racing. Seen it several times here tonight. Here comes McCullough, looks to the inside line of Page. He's ahead by just a couple of hundredths of a second. Derek Fulton has a massive draft advantage here as they charge down the backstretch at Charlotte. Looks like Fulton's going to tuck in behind McCullough. McCullough on the inside line. Page up high. Page showing as your race leader by just a bumper. Going to be at the line here. Could be a good indicator of how things will go at the end. It's Page with a credit for another lap led, but McCullough takes over the race lead through 1 and 2 once more. Grabs a little bit of apron there on that front left tire. Has to be careful. And I wonder who's using up a little bit more tire here, as it's still side by side for the race lead. Derek Fulton in third, looking for a way through, can't find it. Chad Ross in fourth. He's about a half second back from being able to join the party up front and inside the top three. McCullough gained the credit for the lap lead. 16 to go here at Charlotte. Looks like Fulton just kind of biding his time. Watching the hard charger and race leader McCullough go back and forth with Page. McCullough has gained 17 spots so far. Starting at the very back of the field, working his way all the way up towards the front. Still 14 drivers on the lead lap, 17 to the 18 still out there driving. McCullough with the race lead, 2/10 ahead. Fulton has worked his way up into second. He has gained 13 spots over the duration of this main event. Still just barely 2/10 ahead of Page. 2/10 back from McCullough. And keep an eye out. Looks like Chad Ross is caught in the back of that number one machine of Page, sitting in third. There's still about 5 drivers, I think, who have a chance of winning this if it goes green out till the end. And a little bit further back, there's Eric Parks just outside the draft of Chad Ross, 4/10 back. Parks in a good spot, though, 1.5 seconds ahead of William Price, who's linked up with James Kaufman. Speaking of Chad Ross, he's gained all sorts of ground on Page. He's going to look to the inside line going into 3. Every driver inside the top 5 all has 4 fresh tires underneath them. Ross moves into the final podium spot in third. Page tucks in behind. Drivers should have about 3 or 4 laps extra of fuel to make it till the end here. And a little bit of a buffer if we do have a green-white checker finish. Derek Fulton still your race leader, 4/10 ahead. Kenneth McCullough Jr. Your race leader still 4/10 ahead of Derek Fulton in second. Fulton has Chad Ross trying to close the gap, now back in third. Checking back in on McCullough. He's pretty clear here. Oh, as I say that, there's a fluorescent purple number 7 looming in that rear view mirror. 10 laps left to go as they cross the line here at Charlotte, the opening round of this double-header evening. And with 9 laps left to go, we've got a battle for the lead starting to work together here. Fulton all over the back bumper of McCullough. Ross still within striking distance as well. There's Ross. Page has fallen back a little bit in 4th place now. Wally Babb coming down pit road for a very late race pit stop. Flashing off on fuel, a very risky move here. As Babb now drops back to 14th, he looks like he's going to be in lucky dog contention, so if he has a caution, the gamble pays off. If he does not, he's in big, big trouble. Bolton staying tucked in behind McCullough. They built up about a 4/10 breakaway over Chad Ross. 5 laps left to go as they cross the line. Fulton staying tucked in behind McCullough. Both drivers we know can make it till the end, but when will the fireworks come out? When will Fulton try and make a move? He doesn't want to show his cards too early. But if he waits too late, that may allow McCullough to defend and pick up the win. Now that being said, I am fairly confident I get confirmation here. McCullough and Fulton are on the same team with DFR Blue Racing. They made me more than content making it till the end here and bringing home a 1-2 for the team. They built up a hefty 7/10 gap over Ross. Fulton a bit of a bobble there with 3 laps left to go. That's going to give McCullough a 1/4 of a second advantage. Chris Luttrell also having to come down pit road. A late race pit stop, splashing off on fuel. Two to go here at Charlotte, the opening round of the doubleheader evening. It's McCullough and Fulton running first and second. Ross in third. Page and Parks rounds out the top 5. White flag will be out this time by, and there'll be no hope of a green-white checker for any driver attempting to salvage the end of this, hoping they can reel in the race leaders. White flag is out this time by as McCullough and Fulton cross the line. McCullough a 10th and closing over Fulton. Will Fulton have anything left in the back pocket to try and dethrone the 03 machine? Fulton tries to get set up for a big run down the back stretch. It's less than a 10th between the two. McCullough with a half car length, truck length going into turn 3. Fulton still up on the high side. Unless he can dive in that 1/4, it looks like it's going to be Kenneth McCullough Jr. Oh, who is it going to be? It's going to be McCullough by 0.04 of a second over Derek Fulton, and Chad Ross will round out the podium here at Charlotte. McCullough gonna enjoy a massive win here today. Starting the night off right with his doubleheader. And Kenneth McCullough Jr. gonna smoke it down here at Charlotte. Absolutely abusing the front of that truck in the 03 machine. He paid for the tires, and he's going to use all the tires. A great win from McCullough. So we're waiting on Derek Fulton and Kenneth McCullough Jr. to make their way up into the waiting room. And that is an insanely long burnout. Kenneth McCullough Jr. Still going. There we go, letting all the magic smoke out of it. Let's get these drivers up here to victory lane. Up first, we got Chad Ross in the 38 Chevrolet. Started third, finished third. A pretty good evening all the way around here for you.
Yeah, it was, man. I'll take it.
Now, Chad, did that late race caution, did that help what you had going on with strategy? Did it hurt, or did it kind of was a net neutral by the time it's all said and done?
Yeah, I think it was about the same. I felt a little bad for my buddy Steven because I think he had it won, and I was probably just going to end up around third or fourth anyway. So it didn't really hurt my feelings too bad, other than that.
Now, Chad, going back-to-back races here, the doubleheader, whereas Charlotte now immediately, magically teleporting to Las Vegas. How tough is it for the drivers, including yourself, to adapt to a new track with very little seat time in between races?
Well, luckily, Vegas, you don't really need a whole lot of practice for. It's wide open for the first 20 laps. So it's going to be almost like a plate race. I'm just hoping we can survive with everybody on top of each other. So we'll just cross our fingers and see how it works out.
Awesome, Chad. Always a great time talking to you. A great finish here in third. Before I let you sign off and get ready for the next event, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Hey, as always, man, I want to thank you for the great job you always do broadcasting our races. Thanks, Jeff, for putting it on. Shout out to all my buddies on Team 3. I believe we got the win again tonight. That should be our third in a row. Say hi to my dad watching at home.
Awesome, Chad. Always a pleasure, my friend. Good luck, and we hope to talk to you after Las Vegas.
Hope I get to, buddy.
Thank you, sir. That was Chad Ross bringing it home in third. Up next, the friendly Canadian, Derek Fulton, up 13 spots in the 07, going 1 and 2 with your teammate. A very good race, and you guys had checked out there at the end.
Yeah, it was a really fun race. Strategy really played out to our advantage with the caution as well. Kind of trapped, I think it was Radke on a lap down there. He was gone all night, so kind of left it between us three and just worked with him to get by Steven, and then made it so it was basically between me and him.
Now, Derek, once that late race caution came out with about 26, 27 to go, what were you thinking behind the helmet when you saw that yellow flag and knew the strategies got shaken up rather quickly for you guys?
I was hoping it was going to go green. I was just going to top up with a quick right side change. So I only had to get like 5 laps worth of fuel in it. So I was kind of hoping it was going to go green. But then when I seen the yellow, I wasn't too worried about it because I knew we were still in good shape. And yeah, it still ended up playing out well for us. I almost had the lead there right before the caution came out as well. So that might have played out a little bit better for the strategy at the end, having a little bit of clean air. But it is what it is, and Kenneth got the win, so that's all that matters.
Hey, still a great race all the way around. Always a great time talking to my friend. And before I let you go, get ready for Las Vegas. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you bring home second this evening?
Shout out to Kenneth, I guess, for winning, and then shout out to Octorap as well. Hit them up if you need paint. Halloween specials on right now as well. So
awesome, Derek. Always a pleasure, my friend. Good luck at Vegas, and hope to be talking to you more later this evening.
thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. That was Derek Fulton finishing second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Kenneth McCullough Jr., the strategist pro. Welcome back to the top spot here at Charlotte. And that was an interesting one to watch, my friend.
Yeah, started last and finished first. Can't ask for no better than that. Man, that was a hell of a race.
Now, Kenneth, we've seen you, every time I talk to you on the podium, we see strategies either work really well or not so much. Tonight was one of those really well. And correct me if I'm wrong, you were one of the first drivers down pit road on that opening green flag run.
Yeah, I was the first one that pitted, took 2, 4, 2, and 4, and it worked out perfect. Didn't really want to see that caution there at the end, but I don't know what the outcome would have been if we wouldn't have got one. So I'll take it that way for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, were you? I mean, I think everybody was pretty much good on fuel by the time we saw that caution. And was it just a safe bet for you, saying, "Hey, let's come down pit road, grab tires, and hope we don't lose the track position"?
We were all going to have to pit right there one more time. I was fixing to pit around lap 110, like 2 laps before the caution came out. So I'm kind of glad it did come out when it did because I was about to make my last pit stop with 4 tires.
Well, hey, glad things worked out well for you. Always great having you up in that top spot again. Hard charger, qualified dead last, cut through the entire field, up 17 positions, bringing home the win. I think you had the fastest lap of the race as well, so I don't think you can ask for a better evening accompanied by a teammate in the top spots.
Yeah, man, Derek had me worried. I was trying to keep all the dirty air I could possibly keep on the front of his truck just where he would get tight in the corners. I knew if I gave him the bottom, I was in trouble right there. And got to thank Derek for keeping it clean, and Stephen Park there. He raced, or Stephen Page. He raced me hard, but kept it clean.
Awesome, Ken. It's always a great time talking to my friend. Congratulations on another big win here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. And you've got the final send-offs of the evening, the privilege, the pleasure. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen for you?
Got to give a shout out to my aunt Melinda. She tunes into every one of these races. She don't miss none of them. She's a diehard fan. Got to thank Jeff for putting this thing on, and thank you for doing the broadcast. And thank my teammate there, Derek.
Awesome. Well said, Kenneth. Hope to have you back up here after Las Vegas. And again, always a good time talking to you, and well done on that win tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy.
You, sir. That was Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the top spot, accompanied by Derek Fulton second and Chad Ross third. The opening race of this doubleheader evening. We're going to have about a 10-minute intermission before we get ready, and then we'll be back with more action at Las Vegas. Thank you for those tuned in, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Welcome back, race fans. The second round of the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series doubleheader night, brought to you by FEGPC.net. If you're looking for a custom-built desktop solution for sim racing, Microsoft Flight Sim, hey, maybe you want to be an iRacing broadcaster, check them out at FEGPC.net and get your custom-built solution today. We are back again, the second round of the night, here now at the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We've got another 135 laps on the docket. And as always, I'm your host, James East, bringing the action, 1080p, 60 frames a second, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you, everybody, sticking with us. It's been a long night. As drivers, looks like everybody driver getting back out on track, and maybe a couple more here getting ready for this main event, looking to see what's going to happen. Looks like drivers getting ready to make their way out onto the grid. Let's go ahead and run you through the grid for this evening. Starting in the top spot, Eric Parks, the number 73 machine. Dalton McKinney starting second. Jeremy Paris starts third. William Price starting fourth. James Kaufman starts fifth. Eric Fulton starting sixth. Chad Ross starting seventh. John Mullahan starting eighth. Jeff Radke starts ninth. Chris Luttrell starting 10th. Wally Babb starts 11th. Ryan Strunk starting 12th. Cycling it back, we've got Jeremy Osborne starting 13th. Stephen Page starts 14th. Rylan Fascinato starting 15th. Mark McFadden starts 16th. Corey Stahl starting 17th. And Kenneth McCullough Jr. will be starting 18th, rounding out the 18 drivers here today. Looks like all 18 drivers from the opening round will be making their way back out, as we're waiting on Chad Ross, Chris Luttrell to make their way out onto the grid. And we will get things going. Another 135 laps of the evening. Got Threat Level Midnight cheering on the distance team drivers once more. That's Eric Parks, Dalton McKinney on the front row. Second row is going to be Jeremy Paris, William Price, James Kaufman, Derek Fulton will round out the third row. And here we go to start the second round of the night. 135 laps here at segment 6. Eric Parks pulls onto the race lead. Jeremy Paris quickly sliding up into second ahead of Dalton McKinney's 46 machine. Looks like that's William Price on the high line trying to make something happen. Now you heard from Chad Ross just last race that these opening laps will be treated like a super speedway until the tires start to fall off. And Eric Parks, Jeremy Parrish running first and second, doing just that, linked up nose to tail. Chad Ross squarely in the middle of the fray here, tucked in behind Derek Fulton's 07 machine. The field nice and tight. Looks like the top 4 drivers happy going single file. Chad Ross trying to work the high line against Fulton's number 7 machine. Don Mullahan runs in 7th in the bright, I guess, lime green number 6 is how I describe that color. And up front, we've got a battle for the lead. Jeremy Paris, Eric Parks, side by side as we get ready to cross the tri-oval here at Vegas. Right behind them, McKinney and Kaufman, also side by side. 2 wide and 2 rows deep for the race lead here at Vegas. Chad Ross back in the fastest lap so far, 3.95, almost 2/10 faster than Parks and Paris, who were side by side. Now looks like it's going to be McKinney joining on the high line. He's going to slide up next to Paris, the number 24 machine. James Kaufman staying down low, seeing if he can work a little bit higher forward. Parks has the race lead as Paris and McKinney tuck in right behind him, side by side. Oh, I think that was Mark McFadden there. Almost down on the apron, it looked like. So glad he was able to hold on to it. Has not gained nor lost a position. Chad Ross has John Mullahan right behind him. James Kaufman right ahead. Parks is taking back over the race lead, but look at this. Here comes Dalton McKinney up the inside line. Harris tries to decide who's going to give that draft support to as McKinney and Parks side by side down the backstretch, tipping into turn 3. Looks like Parks may have the race lead. Now, if the fuel runs are similar to Charlotte, we're going to see the fuel window open on lap 30, close about lap 35 for these drivers. Like McKinney is going to get edged out as Jeremy Paris pushes Eric Parks up into the race lead. Now Chad Ross going to work the inside line. Kaufman and Mullahan side by side. That's going to be the battle for the top 5. McKinney way down low. Drivers are allowed to cross the white line here at the Nascar Oval Series. Get a little bit of flying knee out. Parks, Paris, McKinney, your top 3. Ross and Kaufman, your top 5. Almost afraid to pan back. We've got racing all across the track here. Let's go back to Stephen Page as there's John Mullahan. Must have had a big issue. He drops down the standings. Page holding on to the top 10 spot just ahead of, the top 9. Ryan Strunk makes up the top 10. Right behind them, that's going to be Jeff Radke, Rylan Fascinato, Chris Luttrell, Corey Small. The gang is all here. We've got to go back up front as the side-by-side battle. 2 wide, 2 rows deep as Parison. Oh no, there's contact. Paris gets pushed up into the wall. Does the field get through? Paris edges into the outside wall. There comes Kaufman. There comes Fascinato. So a big crash to start things off 9 laps in. Mullahan takes a tow. Let's see what happened. So keep an eye out on number 24 on the high side. Does he get a little bit of a bump there from Parks? It almost looked like he got loose and came down into Parks. Netcode collects him. I'll tell you what, let's back that up a little bit. Grab our FEG PC chopper cam. I think there may be a little bit of netcode at play on this one. So grabbing our FEG PC chopper cam, let's grab it super slow-mo. Tough to call that one. Just not enough room for the two of them to make way. We're going to stay focused on that number 24 machine of Jeremy Paris, who's running so clean. The 46 of McKinney checks up, dives down low. And what a shot, as he is in a precarious spot here. Jeremy Paris tags the outside wall of the field, taking evasive maneuvers. Oh, look, Mullahan's crash was further back. Let's back that up. Mullahan tied up in a different incident, it looks like. He's checking up, gets hit by McFadden. The caution was late to come out. Fascinato gets tied up with Mullahan. Mullahan gets bounced back into Paris. And then Mullahan, unfortunately, taking a tow back to pit road. He's got heavy damage, or at least appears that way. Paris, Fascinato, McFadden, and Mullahan, the four drivers we know for certain had contact. Top six drivers stay out as everybody else comes down pit road to take fuel for the remainder of this run. First caution of the night. Lining them back up, it's going to be Rawson, Parks the front row, Kaufman, Price, second row, Page, and I believe Osborne, your third row. Brown, Fascinato, Jeremy Paris did get back out on track. Mark McFadden, John Mullahan still in pit road. Waiting for that iRacing safety car to make its way and signify we are about to go green. Pace car dives down pit road. Fishtailing slightly, he's on the gas. And green flag is out once more at Vegas. The field gets slotted in here. Ross with the race lead. Parks tucked in behind. We got Stephen Page, William Price side by side. Here comes Dalton McKinney. And Garrett Colton. Also, I think I saw Jeremy Osborne and Corey Stahl going side by side. Stahl down the inside. Stahl in the number 66. Osborne now in the 41. They've got Wally Babb right behind him at 99 as well as Fascinato. And just great side-by-side racing. Anywhere you point the camera, there's Dalton McKinney, William Price. The battle for fifth. Price way up high as McKinney running a much lower 1 and 2. Looks like that's McFadden getting back out on track, the number 5 machine. Gonna hold down the inside line to avoid getting tangled up as drivers have so much momentum built up coming down that backstretch at Vegas. Hitting speeds of about 190 miles an hour as we watch Strunk and Price. Oh, we've got problems. Eric Parks off track, no caution. Let's see what happened here. Parks was tucked in behind Ross, goes low. Oh, he lost connection or something. Eric Parks just ghost rode to the inside wall, a very odd crash. And he's still parked there. Parks has had a wheel disconnect or some sort of major issue. Able to take a tow back to pit road finally, but I think his wheel disconnected. So no caution as we check back in on race leader Chad Ross. He's got Kaufman, Page, McKinney, Bolton, Strunk, everybody lined up from nose to the tail. 16 laps into the second main event of the evening. Looks like Kaufman taking a peek at the inside line, not quite able to make it happen. A little bit further back is the battle for 8th. Wally Babb, William Price, side by side. Babb ahead by just the nose as Corey Stahl also looking all the way through in that 66 machine. Price and Babb trading back and forth position. Stahl just looking for an opening. Wanting to stay with those top 6 drivers. Top 6 pack has spread the gap to about 9 seconds in this 3-truck battle for 8th. Babb holding on to it. 8 name goes to the pack here. That's going to be a long 135 lap main event, and they're out there in no man's land for the duration. Back up front, this may bode well for Babb, Stahl, and Price. As we're starting to see a few more jabs being taken inside, it's going to be about the top 8 drivers, top 7 drivers in the tiny pack. It's still Ross, Kaufman, and Page running 1, 2, 3. McKinney and Fulton round out the top 5. Jeremy Osborne looks like he's coming down pit road early in the 41. Now your top 3 drivers are the only drivers inside the top 10 who did not refuel the caution here. We're expecting them to be down pit road with that caution, able to save some fuel, maybe between lap 35 and 40. Looks like Jeff Radke getting a little bit of a shove there to Strunk in the 77 to see if he can take over that 6th place spot. Right now, hard charger out on track is Stephen Page in 3rd. He's up 11 spots so far this evening. Looks like he's trying to make it 2nd as he's all over the bumper of James Kaufman. Ross builds up a small gap, 2nd over the rest of the field. Still everybody in single file. We've got 14 drivers on the lead lap. Mark McFadden, Eric Parks, John Mullahan with extended stays down pit road trying to get some more repairs done. It looks like Page doing everything he can to get around Kaufman. Ross going to have a little bit of traffic ahead. Looks like that's going to be Osborne's 41 machine. Already 2 laps down. Osborne was in his pit stall for 44 seconds. Oh, and here we go. Ross has traffic as Page and Kaufman go side by side. McKinney, Fulton, Radke all up on the high side, accompanying that number 1 machine. Page takes the 2nd spot and does so clean. Dalton McKinney also going to take advantage of that situation. He's going to slot up into 3rd. Derek Fulton will take over the 4th place spot. 25 laps in, a fair amount of momentum has been built up. As Kaufman has now fallen back to 6th place. Maybe getting set up for a pit stop here as he's got Jeff Radke in tow. Ross and Page, 1st and 2nd, have not come down pit road at all under caution while the rest of the field fueled up. Right behind him, that's Wally Babb, Corey Stahl, 8th and 9th. Stahl right behind the Georgia native Babb in the 99 machine. Trying to find some allies out here when you can. Eric Fulton moves up into 3rd. He's got Dalton McKinney's 46 machine tucked in right behind him. Still, Ross and Page holding on to it. First drivers running short on fuel if we do not have any more cautions to interrupt their run. The top 3 drivers running almost identical lap times. Dalton McKinney about 1/10 to 2/10 off the pace, it looks like. Trying to get some momentum built up to Page. Looks like that momentum is happening as we may have a battle for the lead going on. Fulton closed the gap less than 1/10 of a second. Chad Ross down pit road on lap 28. We saw those undercuts work well in the opening night, but that could be since Chad Ross was short on fuel. He did not come down on lap 9, but he's going to return back to service. I believe he took 2 tires on that stop in his pit stall for 11.5 seconds. But he's also going to go a lap down. The top 8 drivers still fairly bunched up here. We're going to pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen to see where those favorite drivers may be at. There we go. Derek Fulton's going to take over the race lead as Page comes down pit road. McKinney is drunk, moving up to 2nd and 3rd. Everybody inside the top 6 all came down pit road together on lap 9. It looks like about 30 laps of fuel for these drivers. I wonder if they're burning a little bit more in the wide open conditions here at Vegas. Strunk and Radke battling for 3rd. Now we've got Price, Page, Kaufman, Price coming down pit road as Page and Kaufman roll out. But look at the fuel window, maybe only about 28 laps under green flag racing. That's going to put the next pit window for the top 6 around lap 37 if we stay true to form. Price also completing his pit. Mark McFadden rolling out on track after 6 minutes and 20 seconds of repairs. Parks and Mullahan still down the road for a very long time, trying to get Hayward back into shape. race lead, getting credit in that number 7 machine. McKinney second, Strunk in third. Expecting their fuel to close at about 4 to 5 laps. And it's going to be a very busy pit road if they all come in together. As this green flag pit cycle is underway, we've got 10 drivers on the lead lap. Looking like everybody took tires only that last stop. Radke with a pretty good run up the inside line of Strunk 77 machine. Taking over the 3rd place spot. Strunk almost getting to the quarter panel there. It's going to immediately fire back in the battle for 3rd. Behind him, you can see Wally Babbitt and Corey Stahl holding on to this lead pack. Radke and Strunk again side by side. That's Dalton McKinney just ahead of them. Radke had most of the truck ahead. Looks like Radke will get clear and hold on to that 3rd place spot. Trying to keep that momentum up. He wants to catch back up to McKinney if at all possible. But it may be interesting as well. You may see drivers purposely hopping out from behind the guy in front of them during the corners, trying to keep clean air on the front of these trucks. And then use the draft down the back stretch. Jeremy Harris, 24 machine, coming down pit road as well. Like Mark McFadden, Ryan Strunk also coming down pit road. McFadden taking the tow. He may be done and out of it here. The win is Derek Fulton going to lead the lead pack into pit road for the first green flag stops of the evening. Drivers on the lead lap as the green flag stops work themselves out. Those 8 drivers all came down pit road on lap 9 or 10 to splash off on fuel. We've done 30 laps on the run so far. When are we going to see drivers come down? Now Vegas can be a little bit tricky on hot pit. I just spotted Chad Ross in the 38 machine trying to fight his way back onto the lead lap. Ross on a 2-tire stop. As Derek Fulton has stretched his legs a second ahead of McKinney. McKinney still has Radke right in tow. Fulton with traffic ahead. I think that's the 41 of Osborne. We're going to try and get confirmation on that. Violent Fascinato down pit road. Fulton's about to show us how long you can go on a run as he's got Chad Ross right behind him, unlapping himself in the 38. Well, a little bit of vortex of danger there. Ross getting a little bit squirrely right by Jeremy Osborne. Maybe the air being taken off. Now McKinney, Babb, Stahl, McCullough, Luttrell, all down pit road. Fulton and Radke opt to stay out a little while longer. Bringing that tank all the way down. As there's Fulton coming down pit road. That may put Chad Ross as your race leader. He had a pretty massive undercut coming down pit road on lap 28. He is 3.9 seconds ahead of Stephen Page. Let's see, does Fulton and Radke take 4 here? It looks like McKinney, Babb, Stahl, McCullough, Luttrell, Fascinato all taking 4 tires on that stop. Fulton and Radke do the same. As Chad Ross is going to be your race leader here. Got Page about 3.9 seconds behind him, also on a 2-tire strategy. About 33 laps is the most we're seeing out of a run. As we check back in on Ryan Strunk, William Price just can't get away from each other here. Now battling for the 4th place spot. They're about 6/10 behind James Kaufman, who holds on to 3rd. Now way back in 10th, Corey Stahl just set the fastest lap of the race, a 30.84. He's tucked in behind Wally Babb. And gaining a whole lot of momentum here. So Stahl has some speed underneath that Chevrolet. Both he and Babb ahead of him on a 4-tire strategy. Easily gaining over a half second on the field. Another battle we have going on is James Kaufman, Ryan Strunk. Strunk's caught up to 3rd. He has some good momentum. Both drivers on 2. But Strunk, the difference may be 7-lap newer tires on that 77 machine. Hard Charger on track, Stephen Page sitting in 2nd. He's up 12 spots from where he started. Strunk has all sorts of speed underneath him here. Now he's got a 3.2-second deficit to Stephen Page. And let's go back. William Price constantly finding himself in the action. Garrett Fulton picking up a spot, moving inside the top 5. Now Price has to worry about McKinney, about 3.5 tenths behind him. Well, look at the run from Fulton there, blasting around Kaufman's number 13 machine. Fulton, 12-lap newer tires, and maybe even more importantly, 12-lap newer tires, all 4 tires underneath them. Here comes Fulton blasting through the pack, catching up to Ryan Strunk. Meanwhile, McKinney works his way around Kaufman. Jeremy Osborne coming back down pit road. We did get confirmation Mark McFadden has retired from this event. We check back in on Chad Ross, your race leader, 2.4 seconds up over Stephen Page. We had made it just 13 drivers on the lead lap. And it looks like we have a battle going on. Dalton McKinney almost tagging the outside wall there. Shutting the door on Ryan Strunk. And moving up into 4th. Osborne rolls out of pit road after taking 2 tires. Jeff Radke whittles around William Price for 7th. Jeff Radke's going to make it 2, also getting around James Kaufman. Immediately moving up to 6th there. So Jeff Radke also on a good run using those 4 tires to his advantage. Corey Stahl, Wally Babb having a fierce battle just inside the top 10 for 9th. They've built up a 2.9 second advantage over McCullough. Oh, and we've got to go back up front as Derek Fulton challenging for second. The inside line is Stephen Page. Dalton McKinney in hot pursuit, a little bit of lap traffic in the fray as well. Last time by, Fulton was 1.1 second faster than Chad Ross. So those are the fresh tires coming into play. A little bit of traffic with Fulton. That's going to be Osborne in the 41 machine. Osborne goes high to allow the number 7 to dip down low. A battle for the lead starting to shape up. There's Chad Ross in the 38 up high. Fulton coming down low, using those new tires with his advantage. Dalton McKinney also charging towards the front in the 46. He sits third. Fulton taking over the race lead from Ross. Ross going to try and hold on to second as long as he can, but it's got to be an uphill battle with those older tires underneath them. There goes McKinney taking over the second place position. And a little bit further back, a 4-truck shootout for 7th. It's Stahl, Babb, Kaufman, and Price. A whole lot of drivers we've seen bumping and grinding here this evening. Chad Ross, your former race leader, comes down pit road. That's going to put Fulton squarely ahead as your race leader as we watch Babb get a little bit loose there behind Stahl. Page moves back up into third. No, it's going to be Radke taking over the 4th place spot from Ryan Strunk. And now Radke side by side with Stephen Page for 3rd. Those new tires, just such a massive advantage for these drivers. Speaking of new tires, Chad Ross in 38, he's rolling out with 4 fresh ones underneath him. Page signals he's going to come down pit road. Still a battle between Corey Stahl, Wally Babb for 5th. Babb looking for any opening he can find here. Could be working with the number 66 since they are the distance teammates. See if they can maybe work together, close that 3-second deficit they have to Ryan Strunk, who sits in 4th. James Kaufman down pit road. Kaufman hits his pit stall. As we continue watching the 2 closest drivers out on track, Corey Stahl, Wally Babb running 5th and 6th. Stahl is our hard charger so far as well. He's up 12 spots. Last time he was down the road was lap 41, where he and teammate Babb both took 4 fresh tires. Now they are slowly chipping away at Ryan Strunk's advantage as Strunk sits in 4th. Strunk on 2 tires, now down to a 2.6-second gap between the 2. We've got Jay Darter join us in the spectator area saying his good friends at Team 3 are going to be coming out on top by the time it's all said and done. It'll be interesting to see if that prediction rings true at the end of Las Vegas. Stahl and Babb working through traffic together. Heading back up front to Derek Fulton. Has a 6/10 advantage over Dalton McKinney. Like William Price coming down pit road for a green flag stop on lap 62. Fulton has made it now. Just 10 drivers on the lead lap. And let's see what the times update to. Fulton a 32.05, McKinney a 32.03, almost identical lap times. But McKinney seems to be very slowly closing that gap to Fulton. But luckily for that number 7 machine, relatively clean air ahead of him. I think the next driver we're going to see Fulton catch up to is going to be Rylan Fascinato, 69 machine. He's running 9th in the Toyota Tundra. And speaking of Toyota, fastest Toyota out on track, of course, our race leader, Derek Fulton. Dalton McKinney piloting the fastest Chevrolet in 2nd. And Wally Babb in 6th is our current fastest Ford on the track. You're getting a little bit spread out here. So it looks like Ryan Strunk comes down pit road. Checking back in on Wally Babb. Looks like he's still hanging on about a half second behind Stahl, but Stahl finding a little bit more speed here. Maybe a little bit better tire management, allowing that 66 machine to try and stretch away from his teammate. But even Stahl, 4 3/4 of a second behind 3rd place Jeffrey Radke. Everybody inside the top 8 on the same fuel and tire strategy. Ryan Strunk getting back out on track. Still curious to see when is Derek Fulton gonna have some traffic at him. There we go, that's Fascinato. Just ahead in the 69, Fascinato 8th on the track, up 7 spots. Corey Stahl still our hard charger, up 13 positions. Expecting the fuel winner to open up around lap 70 to 75 for these drivers. Most drivers inside the top 8 all came in between lap 40 to 42. Fulton clicking off laps, not having any issues so far. But for the first time tonight, he will have a little bit of traffic as we are officially past the halfway mark of the evening. Derek Fulton's 07 Toyota, up 5 spots, not having any issues. You get a report, Derek Fulton should be coming down pit road soon, so traffic may not be a factor for him here. Fascinato going high, trying to allow Fulton by nice and easy. Fulton skates through traffic, not losing too much time, still about 9/10 ahead of Dalton McKinney. Fascinato fighting to stay on the lead lap, but not wanting to interfere with Fulton's run. Fortunato, not all is lost. He's still in lucky dog contention if he's not able to work his way back around Fulton, but it looks like he's going to have to settle in and maybe use the draft for a bit of a slingshot move. No luck there down the back stretch. Fulton holds on to it. McKinney slowly closing the gap in second, now down to 7/10. Wally Babb, Kenneth McCullough Jr., Rylan Fascinato down pit road for their second stops of the evening. Fulton, McKinney, Radke, and Stahl. Your top four still staying out just a little while longer. As I say that, everybody except for Fulton and Stahl down pit road. McKinney and Radke down pit road. No, there goes Corey Stahl as well. Chris Luttrell in pit road. Derek Fulton stretching that run out as long as he possibly can. Trying to make it so he just has to do one more stop this evening, give himself as much buffer as possible. But he's very quietly coming down pit road. Still has it running for Derek Fulton. That may put Chad Ross as your race leader, who is off strategy with the rest of the field. He came down pit road about 20 laps earlier on lap 55. His second stop in the evening. Jeremy Osborne also going down pit road in the 41. Still 15 drivers out. Oh, we've got problems here in the booth. An absolute massive blink here on the broadcast side. Not sure what happened, but Jeremy Osborne takes a tow back to pit road. I wonder if he got disconnected there or had some sort of issue. Chad Ross, your race leader, came in 20 laps prior. Derek Fulton in third. He came to lap 73. Looks like so it looks like we've got it back. Let's run a quick commercial break and we'll get you right back to the action here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. And right as we get back, right in time for a heartbreak, Jeremy Osborne goes for a wild ride. See if we can get that replay queued up and going here. Watch Osborne. Not sure why it panned to Jeffrey Radke. See if we can back that camera angle up. We caught the tail end of that crash right as we got here. See if we can get a little bit more out of that. That might be the limit of what we have here. If something happened to McCullough and Osborne, both drivers heavily injured. Or at least their virtual cars are. That will be our second caution of the night. Chad Ross still your race leader. This may be a saving grace for the 38 machine. No, if he's going to be put off strategy here, not what he was looking for. So second caution of the evening. Ross going to lead the field down pit road. That's going to put our next fuel winner around the lap 110 mark. 25 laps short. Looking at one more stop after this one. Second caution of the night. Chad Ross will be coming out on track 6. But that's not necessarily bad, losing 5 spots, 5 drivers in front of him. Looks like they only took fuel on this stop. So maybe those guys are banking on another caution to quickly come out and valuing the track position more than the fresh tires underneath them. So getting them gridded up, double file, slowly but surely. It's going to be Dalton McKinney, Derek Fulton in the front row. Jeff Radke, Ryan Strunk, your second row. Babb and Ross will be the third row. One more lap of eye-pacing conditions as we cross the start-finish line. A little bit over 50 laps left to go as we have a standing yellow. I think that may have been Jeremy Paris getting the lucky dog wave around. Pace car should be in this time by Get ready to go for our second restart of the evening. Race car is in. Green flag is out once more here at Vegas. McKinney, your race leader, but keep an eye out back on Chad Ross in 6th. He's got those fresh tires underneath him. McKinney holds on the race lead as Radke and Babb side by side. Look at this action we've got going on nearly 4 wide. That's Radke, Babb, Fulton, Strunk, all thoroughly in it here. A white knuckle moment for every driver in that pack, especially those that had the seats for it. Oh, we've got problems. I heard Corey stall. Caution is out. Page is pointing the wrong way. What happened here? Let's take a look at that, focusing in on Corey Stahl in the 66 machine. Stahl in the 66, Page down low in the number 1. I can't tell if Page came up there or what, but both drivers facing hard impact. Oh, and still bouncing into each other. Take a look at that one once more on board Corey Stahl. We're on board Stahl in the 66. Too close to call on that one. But all of the impacts. Do once more from Stephen Page's point of view. What a sight with traffic flying up behind you. I guess in front of you at that point in the case of Stephen Page. Both drivers able to make it down pit road. Now your top 5 are on a fuel-only stop. 6th, 7th, and 8th, Ross, Kaufman, Price. No, excuse me, just Ross and Kaufman. We think are on 4 fresh tires. Price also on a fuel-only stop. Our 3rd caution of the evening. Page, McCullough, Dahl, and Osborne, all with extended stays down pit road. Mark McFadden out for the evening. Eric Parks, Don Mullahan in pit road for a long time. Now, Parks did get out on track briefly. Being gridded back up, double file. Looks like only drivers with damage for the most part. Coming down pit road, Ron Fascinato came down pit road on lap 86. Looks like he may have just taken fuel, possibly taken rights on that stop. Race car will be in this time by. Gonna put us at 45 laps left to go in the evening. That's McKinney and Radke, your front row. Fab and Fulton, your second row. Strunk and Ross, your third row. That third row is where drivers with 4 fresh tires underneath them are starting to reside. Couple more cautions, and drivers maybe only have 1 stop left in this main event. Pace car down pit road. And we are green flag racing once more at Vegas. McKinney off the line. Radke slots in behind him. Fab and Fulton side by side for third. They're Strunk with a big dive down the inside line. Fulton up high. We may see some 3-wide action here. Strunk, a man on a mission. Up the inside line of Fulton, now against the door of Wally Babb. Babb slides up the track just a little bit. McKinney and Radke still running first and second, keeping on that 77 machine. He is out for it, trying to make it happen. The field splits up 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Derek Fulton at the back of that little freight train on the inside line. Radke trying to throw a bit of a block there on McKinney. Not too much luck as the outside line garners a little bit more support. Radke has Struck right behind him. McKinney has Babb leads up on the high side. Fulton closing the gap on the inside line. We're going to make it 2 wide, briefly 2 wide, almost 3 wide. Radke might get stuck in the middle here. Radke trying to slow everybody down, but just didn't have enough time. That's going to get Brian Strunk to race lead the number 77 machine. Radke motoring down the back stretch up on the high side. McKinney and Fulton, the second row of trucks. Then Babb and Ross make up the third row. We've also got James Koff and Ron Fascinato going to join the fray. Radke pushing Strunk up towards the front. May have moved him up on the high side there as Radke and Strunk still going at it. 1 and 2. Radke holds the race lead, but it's almost dead even between the 2. Radke gains about 0.07 of a second after his shove with Dalton McKinney. Strunk doesn't have much draft support up high. Radke showing what it takes to make 1 truck 3 wide as he tries to fend off both Strunk and McKinney. Radke's got a plan. He knows drivers behind him have fresher tires, more fresh tires, and wants those guys to get tied up in the beat and banging here. Strunk is not having any of it though. He challenges back for the race lead. McKinney still in third. You've got Babb and Ross side by side. Right behind them is Fulton, Kaufman, Fascinato. The top 8 drivers on a tidy pack. Looks like Fulton may have backed out of it slightly here. He may smell a crash coming up and wants nothing to do with it. Ross, with those 4 fresh tires underneath him, knows he has to make momentum before the next green flag stop, especially if he's planning on a 2-tire strategy for his next time down pit road. Still, it's Radke and Strunk side by side for the race lead. Ross, McKinney side by side for third. And not out of it yet, and there goes Fulton. Up into the outside wall, a big hit with number 7 machine. He's going to fall off the pace rapidly as here comes William Price, Chris Luttrell. That's going to make it, looks like a 6-truck shootout, as Kaufman is backed out ever slightly, as well as Rylan Fascinato. Don McKinney moves up into second, edging out Strunk in the 77. Oh, Ross gets into the back of Strunk. Strunk able to hold on to it here. Got over 35 laps left to go, and the front bumpers have effectively come out to play. Radke and McKinney a bit of a breakaway as Ross and Babb side by side. Kaufman and Fascinato linked up right behind. Top two on a 6/10 of a second. Breakaways were still side by side for third. Babb, Kaufman, Fascinato quickly catching up, but the top two are pulling away here. Now 7/10 advantage for Jeff Radke, Don McKinney running first and second. That they need to stay linked up, try and get a breakaway from the rest of the field. Ross had fresh tires underneath them, but I think with all the battling we had going on for this massive conglomerate running third through about 8, they have burned up those tires and had that advantage null and voided. Meanwhile, Babb and Kaufman side by side, Fascinato and Strunk side by side for 6th as well. We've got side. Oh, it almost looks like Babb got a little bit of a touch there. Ross starting to break away from the drivers behind them, but with no draft support, it's going to be very tough to close that 8/10 of a gap that Radke and McKinney have built up in the front here. As I say that may go out the window as well, as now we're battling for the race lead. McKinney looks to the inside line against Radke down the backstretch. Radke not going to have the momentum going into 3 and 4, but they've got traffic ahead now. That's going to be Stephen Page, the number 1 machine. Kenneth McCullough Jr. in the 03. He's going to go a lap down, sitting in 12th. Oh, we've got problems. James Kaufman. Oh, my goodness. What happened there? Kaufman pirouetting through the air. A massive hit for the driver of the number 13 Chevrolet. Let's see what happened. Kaufman on the inside line. He's behind Wally Babb. Slides up. Oh, he gets helped out by Fascinato in the 69. And then did Strunk get through there? Oh, look, up, over, and around he goes. James Kaufman gets launched to orbit here. Does he land on 4 wheels? Sticks the landing. James Kaufman, number 13 machine. And that will be our 4th caution of the evening. And now at this point, I think if drivers come down pit road, they may, and it's going to be tight, may be able to make it till the end on fuel. So I would think the drivers would, oh, McKinney goes for a bit of a psych out. Did it play to his advantage because everybody else comes down pit road? McKinney, the only driver on the lead lap to stay out for this pit cycle. Kenneth McCullough Jr. getting the wave around. This could still bode well for McKinney, though. If everyone else is going to be tight on fuel, he may have just earned himself an extra lap, and that could very well be the difference here. We will try this once more. Trying to get everybody lined up. McKinney opts to stay out here. He may be thinking there's going to be a caution. That's going to be tough to do with 25 lap older tires than the rest of the field around him. So it's McKinney and Radke on the front row, Babb, Luttrell your second row, Ross and Paris your third row. Radke on the front row, he's got 4 fresh tires underneath him, as well as Wally Babb starting third. Those are 2 drivers to keep an eye on. It looks like everybody else came down pit road just for fuel. McKinney's got to be tight on fuel here. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. Let's try it again. How long can McKinney hold on to it? With Radke and Babb, fresh tires underneath them, are going to be able to get on the pace rather quickly here. McKinney gets a good start. But look at Babb closing the gap in third. Radke takes a shot at the inside line for the race lead. Babb's going to follow suit. Radke and Babb take over the first and second place position. McKinney slots back into third. Chad Ross sits fourth. Chris Luttrell in fifth. But will the field be able to make it till the end here on Cool? It's going to be tight as Wally Babb challenges for the race lead against Radke, making it happen. Radke's going to fire back down the outside line, carrying a little bit of momentum. Chad Ross going to work his way up into third. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, look at this battle going on. Behind Derek Fulton in fifth, that's Strunk, Luttrell, Paris, Price. All in a very tight bundle. Ron Fascinato sits just outside this battle, this fray, inside the top 10. Chad Ross just clicked off the fastest lap of the race in third, a 30.64. He's absolutely moving. Here we go, a three-truck battle for the lead. It's Radke and Babb side by side. Ross looking for an opening. We go 25 laps left to go as we cross the line. 26 laps left to go. As they start the 110th lap, Babb and Radke still side by side. Ross looks for an opening. McKinney and Fulton side by side for fourth. Radke briefly taking up the race lead once more, just ever so slightly, with a bit more momentum, having the help of Chad Ross pushing him up towards the front. Babb, though, making the track a little bit tighter, a little bit smaller, that inside line. We've seen Radke make that 51 machine 3 lanes wide several times this evening. Will he be able to do it once more? Ross has worked his way back up into second behind the 51, quickly trying to take it and make the lead happen. He's going to do just that, doing a little bit of a low-high maneuver against Radke's 51 machine. Derek Fulton still in the hunt in fourth as well in the 07. We got 11 drivers on the lead lap. Three drivers officially retired. That's Corey Stahl, Mark McFadden, John Mullahan. James Coughlin and Jeremy Osborne have been in the road for quite a while as well. Tough spot for Ross to be in, just can't quite break away. Radke back to the inside line. This time Babb can maybe lend him some support. I think Derek Fulton's just playing it safe there in fourth, watching these three drivers throw haymakers at each other. Not wanting to put himself in too dangerous of a position. And we have a caution come out. Going as Jeremy Paris. Let's see what happened to Paris here, number 24 machine. Well, looks like he got a little bit of a bump and then finished off. I think that was the 72. 73 of Eric Parks. Watch that one once more from Parks' point of view. Back that camera angle up a little bit. Not entirely sure what just happened there. Trying to get a better angle of this replay. I want to back this up a little bit. That should be good if we can get maybe a tighter shot. Oh, that's a perfect shot. Parks gives him a bump from behind. Closing the gap to Fascinato. Harris gets loose. Parks not able to check up in time. Harris just catches that back end against the wall. And a hard impact in the front of the number 24 machine. So yet another caution of the evening. 5 cautions so far. 5th caution of the evening. This may very well be a last man standing type of event. Again, this is the 5th caution of the evening, our doubleheader race. Still going to be Ross Radke, the front row, Bab Fulton, your second row, Price and Strunk, your third row. Like anybody's willing to come down pit road. Dalton McKinney came down pit road on lap 114, took 4 tires underneath them. Could be a gamble that pays out well for the driver of that 46 machine. Field back, lined up, double file, 11 drivers on the lead lap. Green flag is out. Let's try it once more. Ross going to fight tooth and nail to hold on to this race lead as we've got 18 laps left to go. Bab tucked in behind Radke. Fulton still in the hunt as well. The number 7 machine. Really, there's about 10 drivers, I would say, still have a chance at it as here comes Jeff Radke up the inside line, trying to take that lead away from Ross. We know how lethal Radke can be up front when he can control the lines. The top 9 drivers separated by less than a second here at Las Vegas. It's Radke, Bab, Ross, your top 3. Fulton and Strunk make up the top 5. But we got plenty of moves left to make here. Ross looks to the inside line against Radke. He's going to get credit for the lap led. Bab pushing Radke up towards the front is behind them. Oh, we go 3 wide, and I think I just saw William Price in the middle. Yes, I do. Derek Fulton on the high side. No, that was Price, excuse me, down low. Ryan Strunk in the middle while Fulton was on the high side. Radke holds on to the race lead. Bab and Ross side by side. Ryan Strunk trying to get a little bit further ahead and see what he can do to interrupt the shenanigans. Oh, it's too tight to call right now. It's Radke, Ross, Babb, 1, 2, 3. Strunk and McKinney right here in the fray as well as Derek Fulton. William Price has backed out of it ever so slightly in the 34 machine. Again, maybe predicting a crash is imminent with how aggressive these drivers are up front. Ross once again taking a look at the inside line. Wally Babb's going to follow suit in the 99, drifting back high in front of McKinney. Well, McKinney got a little bit out of shape there. That's going to allow Babb a big charge on the outside line. Ross still holds on to the race lead, but Radke closing the gap, and we're going to go 3 wide once more. McKinney takes a peek down the inside line. Going to lose a little bit of momentum here. No, we're still 3 wide. It's McKinney down low, Ross in the middle, Radke up high. Wally Babb has a bird's eye view of some great racing ahead as we bring it 3 wide out of turn 4 across the tri-oval. It looks like it's going to be Chad Ross. May have gotten credit for that lap led, but we're 3 wide. We're 3 wide and 2 rows deep here in Las Vegas. It's Ross, McKinney, Radke on the front row. That was Babb, Fulton, and Strunk your second row. The drivers are out here to make it exciting for the fans at Las Vegas. Ross holds on to the race lead, now fighting with McKinney. Radke shuffled back to third. McKinney is showing as the race leader as they cross the line. McKinney gets a lap led here at Vegas. Oh my goodness, it's anybody's guess how this one's going to shape up. Still, drivers fighting for any spot they can get. Looks like Wally Babb a little bit unsettled in the 99 machine, just ahead of Brian Strunk in the 77. McKinney and Ross linked up saying, hey, let's get away from this behind us. As we cross the line, it's 10 laps left to go. And anybody inside this top 7, I think, still has a good chance of bringing home a win. Fulton and Strunk side by side for 5th. Fulton hops back in line behind the 77. Price does the same in the 34. Nine laps left to go here in Las Vegas. The top 7 have calmed down ever so slightly, as McKinney has a favorable position, a quarter of a second up ahead of Chad Ross. Ross linked up nose to tail with Radke right behind him. McKinney running a little bit lower line. Looks like Ross trying to run about a middle groove. But whatever McKinney's doing, it is working out well for him. And part of it could be McKinney's call to come down pit road on lap 114, taking 4 fresh tires. Grant, he spent a whole lot of time throwing elbows at the drivers around him who are throwing it right back tenfold. But McKinney, if we can go green, is looking very, very good here. But keep an eye on Radke. He's going to keep the pressure on Ross. Meanwhile, Babb and Strunk still side by side. Derek Fulton, our friendly Canadian, watching the show, accompanied by William Price in the 34 machine. Oh, here we go. Radke's going to get set up for an inside move into turn 1. 6 laps left to go. Can McKinney be touched here as he extends his gap now to almost 9/10 of a second over the rest of the field? Radke takes back over second ahead of Chad Ross. Bab hops out of line to the 99 machine. Ross may be in trouble here, losing time to Radke. As Strunk, Fulton, Price, and Bab closing the gap behind him. As it stands, it's McKinney, Radke, Ross, your top three. Strunk, Fulton, round out your top five. Although that's not even settled as they go back and forth. Price and Bab still in it inside the top 7 as well. Strunk and Fulton side by side. Price hints at making it 3 wide, looking at the outside line, thinks better of it. 4 laps left to go. Oh, a little bit of bumping and grinding there as Price may have given a shove to Fulton. Just spectacular racing all the way around here. Very impressed with the caliber of driving we're seeing from these guys. Radke, unfortunately for the 51, still losing about 3/10 per lap on Dalton McKinney, your race leader. As we get ready to go 2 to go, as always, if we can take the white flag without any incidents, we will not use our green-white checker overtime attempts this evening. It's 2 to go at Las Vegas. McKinney extends his gap to 2.2 seconds over Jeff Radke. Now the question is, what's going to happen with Chad Ross? He's getting chased by a lot of guys. That's Strunk, Price, Fulton, all linked up behind that blue and black 38. And those drivers running just outside the podium know there's not a lot of time left here to make any big moves. White flag is out here in Las Vegas. McKinney looks like he may be able to lock it in. Radke still to hold about a 3/10 gap over Chad Ross. And Ross has that 77 of Strunk breathing down his neck. Strunk is our hard charger so far, up 8 spots, up into 4th. After originally qualifying 12th. Oh, look at that, a big send from William Price. Is there going to be contact? No, but that's going to possibly give 3rd place to Chad Ross. Yes, it is. Dalton McKinney with the race win. Jeff Radke is 2nd. And Chad Ross will round out the top 3. What a race. And McKinney going to definitely savor that win here tonight. A massive win. The pit strategy paying out spectacularly. He's going to be accompanied by, looks like that's going to be Jeff Radke. Also at the start-finish line, congratulating his teammate. And we're going to try and get these drivers up here in a timely manner to the waiting room. McKinney just going to enjoy the moment at 46. Got Chad Ross. We've got Dalton McKinney waiting on Jeff Radke. And it looks like the gang is all here. Starting it off with Chad Ross in the 38 machine, up 4 spots, and man, Chad fighting tooth and nail for what seemed like an eternity to hold on to that podium position.
Yeah, man, it was rough out there. We were racing the hell out of each other.
Now, Chad, everybody was on kind of different tire strategies, but it seemed like that was kind of null and void. And then the guys that had 10, 15 lap newer tires or a full set of tires underneath them weren't able to put it to their advantage, having themselves battling too much with everybody inside that top 7.
Yeah, I mean, tires don't mean as much as they did at Charlotte, but they still definitely helped. I don't know, as far as the winner checked out, I think he might have had 2 in the pits he grabbed on that last caution. I'm guessing,
You'd be correct. I
but
think McKinney and Radke were the only drivers, or McKinney on lap 114, I think took 4 underneath them.
yeah, and I took 4 with, I don't know, like 28 to go or something like that, and that was all I had. So, and I think I burned them up early. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I would rather not have those cautions. If had it gone green, I know a lot of them guys were trying the fuel strategy, but I didn't know if that was going to work out for them. I know Derek was going to get close, but I was short pitting and making up some time on new tires on him. It was going to be interesting to see how that worked out. But even then, I thought I might have this one there at the end, but got to settle for third again.
Poor Chad, but hey, at least you're up here scoring some big points in that 38. An excellent show from you and all the other drivers. And Chad, before I let you sign off and maybe just go to bed at this point, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen for you?
Yeah, hell, I got to pee. I want to thank you for the great job you're always doing. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks all my buddies for Team 3. Sorry, it's kind of a rough night for the rest of them. Say hi to my dad if he's still up, and we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome, Chad. Enjoy the bathroom break in the third place finish, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
That was Chad Ross finishing third here tonight. Up next, we've got Jeff Radke joining us with second. Jeff, it's been a long time since I've seen one truck make it 3 wide for so many laps in a row.
Yeah, that was definitely entertaining.
Yeah, now what was the plan there? I mean, you knew you had guys maybe with a little bit fresher tires behind you. What was the strategy? Were you trying to slow those guys down, make them burn up a little bit of rubber, or was there a strategy behind it?
I was trying to keep track position as much I could. If they burned them up, then that definitely helped. I knew Dalton was coming with fresh ones, so there wasn't going to be stopping him.
Now, Jeff, I know the cautions kind of threw a wrench in the plans of just about everybody out on track. Did that help you with the cautions? Did it hurt you, or kind of middle of the road?
I'd say middle of the road. I was close on fuel, so the caution definitely helped make sure I make it to the end.
Well, hey, a lot of fun watching out there. And again, it was a blast watching you make that 51 machine 3 lanes wide and controlling the pace of the race for so long. A lot of fun for both myself as well as the fans. And Jeff, I know everybody's got a strict midnight bedtime, so who do you want to give a shout to that helped you bring home this second place result tonight?
My wife first and foremost, my son, Rylan with Distance Auto Group, Jeff for putting them on, and of course you for broadcasting them.
Well, couldn't do it without you guys, Jeff. Congratulations on second. A lot of fun to watch and just a great race all the way around.
Absolutely. Hopefully I'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. I hope so as well.
Have a good night.
Well, that was Jeff Radke bringing it home in second place. But up next, the man of the hour. Welcome back, Dalton McKinney, the top spot. Man, what a finish. What a wild closing 20 laps we had there.
Yeah, that was a good time. I was able to get fresh tires on last caution, and I knew I needed to take advantage of them as soon as possible. So, made a couple risky moves to get out to the front, but they were all well calculated, and it worked out in my favor tonight.
Now, talking about that, having to put those new tires to your advantage as quickly as possible, it seemed like that top 7 was too busy throwing haymakers at each other for you to utilize those tires early on. But once you finally got the track position, it was just clean sailing from that point.
Yeah, I was kind of just biding my time. I knew that I had, 10 lap fresher tires. That's huge here. So I knew I just needed to get through the chaos clean. And then once I was able to get out front, it was just all about setting sail and turning off the rear view and just running the best laps I could the rest of the way.
And Dalton, once we had that final late race caution, you were the only driver to take 4 fresh tires. Were you thinking at this point, all right, we have a very good chance of bringing it home?
Yeah, but it was definitely nerve-wracking up until we got that last caution because I was gonna have to be pitting in 5 or 6 laps. Looking back, I wish I would have came down for fuel only 2 cautions ago, but it all worked out. So yeah, once I had the fresh tires on, I knew as long as I kept the truck clean and in one piece, I'd have a pretty good shot at it.
Well, Dalton, that was an absolute blast to announce, and it must have been to drive as well, despite the white knuckle moments. But Good to have you back in the top spot of the podium, making the number 46 look nice and good in the highlight reel. And you've got the privilege, the pleasure, my friend, the final send-offs of the evening. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make it happen for you?
I want to start by thanking everyone at the distance. Jeff Radke, he definitely had kind of one taken away from him in the first race that I thought he should have won, and then I kind of took this one from him. He was a lot quicker than me on a late run. That's kind of why I waited to put my tires on, because I knew if I came down and put tires on with him, I felt like he was going to be better than me at the closing laps. So I thought my only chance of winning the race was to get one more caution. So good run to him all night. To Wally Babb, Rylan Falconato, Corey Stahl, and Jordan Darnell was in here. Chris Luttrell was in here as well. My parents, my little sister, my little cousin, little Joe, my buddy Scott, they all watch. And you for putting this broadcast on. It's always a pleasure to go back and watch it. It's a lot of fun, and you do a great job with everything you do. And us drivers all really appreciate it. And but yeah,
Awesome, Dalton. Again, congratulations, my friend. A lot of fun for me up in the booth, and I couldn't have a show without you guys making it happen. So, again, congratulations on a great win, and hope to have you back up here in the very near future.
thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. That was Dalton McKinney back on the top spot in the number 46 machine, accompanied by Jeff Radke second, and Chad Ross rounding out the podium. Great racing, good friends, and a whole lot of action here at the FEG NASCAR Oval Series. My name's been James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all for those that stuck with us through the doubleheader, and I look forward to having you back same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everybody.